What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another live stream, Apple Home Talk Live. This is a stream all about building a smart home, weekly live stream. Although we did miss last week, so I am glad to be back, excited to be here and hang out with you guys today. Hope everybody's doing well and is having a great week so far. Let me know in the chat. Thank you, Frederick. Already let me know. Looks and sounds great. Let me know where you're from, where you're watching from, what time it is, how's the weather, all that good stuff. And yeah, excited to get back into it today, talk about a few things in the smart home world. There's been actually quite a few new products released, and we'll definitely do some Q&A today for all you guys who are able to actually watch live here today. So let's see what we got in the chat real quick. Raul, what's up, Raul? Finally able to tune back in after vacation. Nice. What's up from Switzerland? All right. Nice. Yeah, we went away last week. We were gone for most of the week. Got a little bit of a sunburn to to show for it, but some little spring break fun, I guess you could say. Parent spring break fun. Not spring breaks like they used to be, for me anyways. We got San Francisco. What's up, San Francisco in the house? Joey is here. Frederick, good to see you, Frederick, and Lone Star Trent as well. Appreciate you guys being here, helping out. George Langerbeer, t-shirt comment makes sense. Yeah, that's a little behind the scenes. Yeah, my Hilton Head Skull Creek shirt. I was asked about places to go in Hilton Head, so I put on the shirt this morning and realized Skull Creek, that's a pretty cool place to go. A little heard your, let's see, a little heard, yeah, I am peeling like a snake. Just my legs though. I got a sunburn. Just my legs though, because it was so cold actually and kind of overcast when I got burnt. I was actually wearing a hoodie most of the day. So, and then I have a hat usually. So it's just my legs that got burnt really bad. So it could definitely be worse. Denmark in the house. What's up, Peter from Denmark? Good to see you, man. Thump Jimmy, Maine is here. Portuguese, wow. Watching from Switzerland, hospital after surgery. Oh, wow. Well, I hope all is well and you are recovering well. Thanks for tuning in. Ohio by the lake. Very nice. Got the robot mowers out last week and going to start the mowing season. It is that time of year. Yes, I've got mine out as well. Already done a few rounds just to make sure everything's working well. And actually started running my sprinklers. We haven't had a lot of rain here, so I'm trying to get the grass back at least somewhat green. Saw an old picture of you and your wife, and yeah, I had long hair. So I posted a little throwback picture on, I think that was just on Instagram. We just had an anniversary too. My wife and I had our 13-year anniversary. What was that, Monday? Yeah, on Monday. So yeah, I posted a couple of pictures, including an old throwback of me with long hair. So those don't come out too often. So check it out over on my Instagram if you want to see what I look like in my early 20s with long hair. Good times. Yeah, and Caroline's, Frederick said, could see the swelling in Caroline's legs. Yeah, she was really burnt as well. We both got really burnt. Hers, her legs were swelling and it was bad. It was bad. That's all we'll say. Good evening. What's up, Sigmund? Good to see you, man. I hope all is well. Austin, Texas in the house. New Jersey. Good to see you, Tom. And Mark, Dominican Republic. We're in the Dominican Republic this time last week. A lot warmer than the UK. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, it's crazy, man. We live in the South and it's like always hot. And then, we take one little trip and go to the beach and then it gets cold all of a sudden. So, that's our luck. And then we get a sunburn on top of it. That's just how it goes sometimes. Let's jump into some smart home stuff because that's what we're here for today. There's been a lot of new things. I've had a few videos post in the past week or so since the last time we spoke in one of these live streams. Just a real quick recap of those in case you haven't seen them yet. New video dropped, I think it was yesterday, on the new Narwhal Flow 2 robot vacuum. So I'm a big fan of the Narwhal robot vacuums. Started using their Flow 2, which is a slight upgrade from the Flow 1, the one I've been using for the past year or so. I've been using a few different robot vacuums, but that is one of my favorites. So you can check that out if you're interested in robot vacuums. Also, we had this really interesting sleep tracking lamp. It's an AI lamp with sleep tracking built into it. I did a whole video on this just because it was such a unique and interesting product that I just had to check it out, and really cool. It's on Kickstarter right now, or it's about to be on Kickstarter. I'm not 100% sure if it's started yet. It's very soon if it hasn't started on Kickstarter. But it was just such a unique product, and they say that Matter support is coming to that lamp by, I think they said in June, May or June, if I'm not mistaken. I have to look at the video to recall exactly, but it should be supporting Matter, and it tracks your sleep kind of like your Apple Watch does, but you don't have to wear anything. So pretty cool device. I always just hate wearing stuff to bed. I tried the sleep tracking on my watch or through my watch. I don't know why, I just hate wearing my Apple Watch to bed. So I thought that was a pretty cool product to check out. And then of course also we've got that Aqara U400, these names, the W200, I think that's right, W200 thermostat. Check out that video if you're interested in smart thermostats or Aqara stuff. It's pretty awesome. First thermostat that supports Apple's adaptive temperature. So that was pretty cool to test out, and it's just got a ton of features as usual with new Aqara stuff. I see some questions already rolling in. All right, so I'll try to get to these. I'm going to save the questions. What I usually do in these streams is I'll flag the questions and I'll try to come back to as many as I can. I see we got a few people who have done it. So preface your comment with the word question, like Mark and Manic John did here in the chat. And then it'll just help it stick out. And I'll save those and then try to come back to them as we go. Just like Frederick mentioned there. Thank you. Yeah, ask once. No need to spam the chat. I'll save the questions and always come back to them. Let's see. There's a question there. Yeah, Turin. I love that the Narwhal can now screw with the pets. Yes, if you watch the video, that may have been the most fun that I had playing with the robot vacuum, was just messing with my pets. That was pretty cool. Some neat little features in there that you can do if you have animals and just want to screw with your animals a little bit. That was pretty fun stuff. My dogs were quite confused, I think, at one point. Real quick, a couple of new products that just caught my eye I'll also share is the Govee has, it's really hard to keep up with Govee stuff because they are constantly coming out with new products, but I saw they have some new outdoor spotlights light that are just going to be, they look similar to the outdoor spotlights 2, which I have used. They're just not quite as bright, I believe, and they're cheaper. So if maybe you just need something that's not quite so bright, you can get these and they're a little bit cheaper. And these do support Matter like most of their other lights right now. And like I said, it's just hard to keep up with all the stuff that they've got coming out. New pathway lights, I'm not even sure I've seen these. So Govee is just constantly, I really like this one right here too, this outdoor light. I kind of wish I had this one instead of the one that I have for my back patio. But anyways, too late for that. Lots of Govee stuff. Like I said, always coming out with new stuff. Also, Aqara has released since we last talked on a live stream, their multi-state sensor P100. So this is an interesting product here. It's kind of like a revamped version of their vibration sensor. If you've ever used that, the vibration sensor has been around forever, but this right here supports multi-event object status detection. So it can detect falls, vibration, orientation, like tilt and stuff like that, and movement. So I think you can do some pretty cool stuff with this. I'm really curious if any of you have got one of these or plan to get one of these, and definitely let us know in the chat what are some cool automation ideas for something like this. I haven't used one of their vibration sensors in quite a while, but I do have the new P100, and I'm going to, I don't know, I got to find something to do with this. I was thinking about maybe using it on my mailbox, maybe setting up some automations around getting mail. I still have not done that. So that would be a good use case for this. But this one does support Zigbee and Thread, which is nice. So those of you who just prefer to use Thread devices, you can connect this directly to your smart home ecosystem, Apple Home or whatever, without an Aqara hub. Personally, I like using these products with Zigbee because I already have an Aqara hub, and Zigbee just works really well. And usually you get a few extra features that you might not be able to get when it's just Matter over Thread. When it goes to their hub over Zigbee, you can usually get some extra little things, which is the case with this sensor here as well. So let's see. Oh, there you got a Paul Hibbert quote there. Oh, the Zigbee. Yeah. Dang. Sit in a drawer to alert you if the wife is snooping. Oh, well, I mean, that, yeah, you can do it. You can do that. That's one way to use it, I guess. Let's see. P100 sounds like their Cube revamped. I don't know. I would say, I mean, I guess I see that. To me, it's more like the vibration sensor, I think, because they can do tilt. But it can also do open and close, so you could probably use this on like a door, I guess. Well, they actually show it being used on a door, so you could use it on a door as well. So I kind of look at it as like the vibration sensor revamp, but I see what you're saying. Let's see. Oh, lots of questions. All right, let me save these questions. Bill says, I received the P100 today and we'll be testing it. Not sure about this one. Interesting. So are you using it over Matter, or are you using it over Thread or Zigbee? And what are some use cases? How are you going to use yours? I'm always curious. What's up, Rick? Rick says, my wife is not happy with me. What did I do? What did I do this time? It took me a few months to follow suit, but I finally installed Home Assistant and mind is blown. Yes. Hey, I assume zero responsibility for that rabbit hole there. Oh man, yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing about Home Assistant. I talked about it I did a video. I've only done like really one dedicated video on Home Assistant a while back. I should probably do more. I think the video did pretty well, but I talked about it in there. Home Assistant is awesome, but it is not for everyone. It is definitely not for everyone. If you want to go down that rabbit hole, it's definitely a rabbit hole. You could spend tons of time. You can lose sleep, as I did, trying to get everything up and running. So yeah, it's just, it's definitely not necessary just for, smart home control. But if you're a tinkerer and you just like to go ham and go down those rabbit holes, then Home Assistant for sure. Let's see. Blame the guy on YouTube. Ratchet Gang says. Oh, thank you. Raul Wired says, keep up the great work on the Wife Approved podcast. Love to listen while in the gym, actually catching up now. Thank you, man. I do appreciate that. The support and the encouragement definitely means a lot and goes a long way. So thank you for that. And we will keep it up. It's a lot of fun for us to do, so we'll keep doing that. Stop being so dramatic. Me? No, not me. Let's see here. Okay, Bill. So Bill is using that sensor over Zigbee. Yeah, nice. That's what I plan on doing too. I don't know. Like I said, I might do the mailbox. I think I could do some cool automations around the mailbox. We'll see though. I don't know if, like, usually Caroline, my wife, is the one that checks the mail. So maybe I can try to do something there. But you know how she feels about automations. I don't know. I'd probably just do something that would piss her off, you know. But maybe I can come up with an automation she'll actually like. So maybe I'll try that. That'll be a good challenge. Do something with the mailbox. I always forget to check the mail. She's often the one that does it. Lone Star Trent says, how are you going to rainproof it? That's a good question. I think if you put it in the mailbox, it might be okay. I mean, it is rated for indoor use only, I believe. It might be okay on the inside of the mailbox. Again, talking about the new P100 sensor. I'm sure you can get a little waterproof box to put this in, and it will probably still work. You'll have to just check your signal and your range still. I have a bunch of waterproof boxes that I bought years ago, and I probably have some extras for my outdoor or for my Aqara contact sensors. So I might have one big enough for this. If not, I'm sure you can 3D print something, just a little waterproof box just to put this in. If you do want to try to put it outside, that might be an option. I've had some people asking me recently about my Aqara door sensors that I use outside, and those little waterproof boxes have been great. I've been using those sensors outside for years and have not had any issues. So you can probably do something similar like that for this. Mark says, isn't the example on the Aqara website on a mailbox? It is. But it's kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of like a weird looking mailbox. Like maybe that's not, I don't know. It does say on here though somewhere, I'm pretty sure it says rated for indoor use. It's probably like in the fine print somewhere. But let's see. Trying to see if I can see on here. It does say mailbox detection right there. They always have these like weird looking mailboxes though. Our mailboxes don't look like any of these that are shown on here. They have some pretty cool little use cases though. I'm trying to read this too. Another thing I forgot to mention is I had my eyes dilated this morning. So like I was a little worried that I was even going to be able to read the comments and stuff during this live stream. I've not been able to see like anything most of the day. It's finally coming back so I can actually read your comments now, but it's a little bit bigger on my screen. But like some of this small text I'm still having a hard time with. So bear with me. But thankfully, I can read the comments. I was, like I said, a little worried about that. Let's see. Mike says, I wish waterproof boxes for sensors were more of a thing, or even more outdoor sensors. Yeah, there's not a ton of outdoor sensors, which is kind of crazy. But it should not be too hard to find little waterproof boxes for different sensors, and I've noticed a lot of like 3D printed designs for things like that. You can probably, if you have a 3D printer, you're probably good to go. You can just print your own. I bet people have printed little boxes and cases already for a lot of these more common sensors like the Aqara door sensors and stuff like that. But yeah, I found like a set. I did a video shoot probably like 3 or 4 years ago on, I think it was something like automating my outdoor gate or something like that. Might have been the title. I don't even remember, but it's still on my YouTube channel, but I probably linked in the video description what I used, but I just went on Amazon and I did look at the dimensions. I measured out the contact sensors, and I just found a little cheap set of different size outdoor waterproof boxes, and one of them just fit the Aqara door sensor perfectly. And I just used that. And then actually for the other side of the sensor, I just used a really big magnet that can go outdoors. And like I said, it's been working great. So you could probably find stuff. It might not be made just for that, but like I said, there are a lot of 3D prints out there that are made for it. Got to go to an eye doctor with a optomap. See, I don't even know what that is. I have not gone to the eye doctor in a long time, so it was well overdue. I need to probably do it every couple of years. So I'm at the point where my vision's starting to fade on me a little bit. Getting old, I guess. Another quick thing to mention that I saw, Switchbot just released a rechargeable version of their little bot finger button presser. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but this is like what got Switchbot on the map. This was like Switchbot's main device, their first device, I think. And it's just a little robot finger that just kind of comes down and presses stuff. So it allows you to make anything smart. These were really cool when they first came out. I mean, they still are really cool if you have a use case for them. I used one on my coffee maker, my coffee pot for years. And I'm not using one right now because I don't have a great use case. But I'm curious if you are using one of these or if you have in the past. Let me know how you're using the little finger. What is it called? It's just called the Switchbot bot. I call it the finger robot. But here's some use cases here. So yeah, you can use them on light switches. You know, if maybe you're renting and you can't change out the light switch, but you can make your dumb devices smart with something like this. And they've got a rechargeable version now. So I guess that's good if you prefer rechargeable batteries and stuff. Lawrence said, should have made it Zigbee thread. Yeah, that'd be nice. I had kind of assumed that their Switchbot's not going to go in on Zigbee or thread at this point, especially with a device like that that's already been around forever. They've been really stuck to Bluetooth with their like sensors and like smaller things like that. They do have a lot of devices now that are direct Wi-Fi, Matter over Wi-Fi, which is nice, but I haven't seen them put out a Zigbee or a Thread device yet that I can recall. Oh yeah, the Third Reality one is good. Yeah, if you're renting. Yeah, and Lutron Aurora. Yeah, good points. I think the Lutron Aurora, that's got to be connected to Philips Hue lights, I want to say. But yeah, Third Reality is a good one. I'm using that one too, actually. All right, let me get to some of these questions for those of you who have been patiently waiting. Mark says, I'm about to buy an Aqara FP300, but only have the hub E1. Should I upgrade the hub first? Well, that's a good question. I don't know. A couple of factors I would probably maybe I would consider. What other devices are you using right now with your hub E1? Do you have a bunch of devices? I would assume that the connection is probably going to be better or stronger with one of their other hubs. I don't really know that for a fact, but I like using the M3 hub because I can hardwire it to my router, to my network, and hardwired is just always going to be better. So that's why I like using the M3 hub for my Aqara devices. Of course, they have a ton of different hubs. They've got the M1S hub, which Gen 2, I think, which has the little light ring on it. There is also the M2, the M2 hub, I think it is, can be hardwired also, so that might be another option. But the M3 hub is a really good one. If you plan on getting a lot of Aqara devices, I would strongly consider that just for reliability. But if you've been using the E1 and you haven't had any issues with it, then, you know, give it a shot. I mean, it can't hurt to save you some money. And then, of course, you can always get it later if the FP300 is not working well. You know, you can try that later. But yeah, I typically recommend the M3 hub if you plan on getting a lot of Aqara devices. If you just have a few devices here and there, you know, a few water sensors or something, you don't really plan on getting a ton, then any of their hubs can be good. They're the new G50, I think it is, the camera hub, the G5, like a lot of their cameras, one of the doorbells, they can also be hubs also. But again, those are wireless, where I like having the hardwired hub if possible. So kind of depends on each person's use case and like what all you plan on getting in the future, I think. But my personal favorite is the M3 hub. So I don't know. I hope that helps. They just have so many options. I think sometimes it can make it a little confusing. Let's see. Checking in the chat here. I thought I saw a video on Instagram of you opening the outdoor gate and the Aqara thermostat announcing. Yes, it did. That's like my favorite way of using the, well, not my favorite way. It's one of the really cool things that I personally really like. Again, use cases. The Aqara devices can do so many different things that you're going to use some features, you're not going to use some features. That's one that I haven't really seen too many people talking about, but it's the ability to play like custom ringtones through the thermostat. And just because where our thermostat is located in the house, it's a perfect place for like those little audible announcements and stuff. So when one of our gates outside is opened, it plays an alert on the thermostat, that new thermostat, and it says, you know, the right gate is open, the left gate is open, so on and so forth. And you can set up multiple things like that, but they're just custom ringtones essentially that you can automate there through Aqara. What's up, Lurk Jerk? Good to see you here. Manic John says, are you planning to do an updated house tour? Yeah, yes and no. Like, do I have it on the schedule right now? No. Yes, I am planning to do one, but I feel like I've been saying that for a long time. I really want to do another house tour. I need to do another house tour. I need to get around to it. So yes, I'm going to do one. It's been a long time. I think probably like 2 or 3 years, I think, since I've done a whole house tour. So I will definitely have that on my list to do. I will get one done this year. So this year I'm going to do another house tour. So I don't know why that is just, it seems like such a daunting video to make because there's just so many smart devices. Sometimes I'm like, well, I'll go through and just talk about all the smart devices, but then it's like just a list of all the, I don't want to do that necessarily. So I just got to figure out the best way to do it. I don't know. So it's not like boring, but maybe I'll talk a little bit about some of the automations and stuff like that I'm using, but it is on my list to do. I don't have a date, but I will do one. I promise. Hey from North Keller, and how did Caroline enjoy the new Narwhal vacuum cleaner? She likes it. Caroline has been a fan of the Narwhal vacuums for a long time. I think it was what I got. I think it was a Narwhal vacuum that got her to support robot vacuums actually a few years ago. Like she did not like them. She thought they were going to mess up the floors, and I don't know. But Narwhal was the first one that she really liked. So she likes this one. She liked the Flow. We were using the Flow. She also liked the Roborock. I was using one of the Roborock robot vacuums recently. She also likes that one. So yeah, she's fine with them now. And yeah, I think she's pretty much okay with anyone that we're using as long as it can just do its thing and not get stuck on anything. And the obstacle avoidance on like the flagships now are so good that it's usually not an issue. And also it has to be like not too hard on the floors, not too, we have real hardwood floors. And, but yeah, both of those, she likes the Narwhal stuff. So she's been happy. It's even better if we can get it into HomeKit, into Apple Home through Matter. So like that's one thing that I really liked about some of the other ones I've used. And Narwhal is supposed to support Matter. I mentioned it in my video. It has not been updated yet, but it should be like any day now. So I'm waiting on that. So then she can just, control the robot vacuum herself in Apple Home, and she doesn't have to, call me to do it. Stephen said George will have a new smart home tour before Shane. George will probably have 3 new smart home tours before my next one, the way George does them. We love George. George makes some awesome smart home tour videos. So you can check out George Langabeer's channel in the meantime while we're waiting on my next smart home tour maybe. Ratchet Gang says, did you have a Roomba before? I had a Roomba years ago. I think my first robot vacuum was a Roomba a long time ago. Yeah. And all these other companies have just like flown right past Roomba. Now they just fell behind big time. Okay, I see some more questions. I'm saving them. Has anyone messed with Unify outdoor cameras for their Apple Home? Yeah, I've got most of my cameras now are Unify, and I'm bringing them into Apple Home through Home Assistant. So that's one of the good ways I'm able to use Home Assistant right now. I also used Scripted for a long time. Scripted is really good too if maybe you want to try to avoid Home Assistant. I used that for a long time as well. Question, W200 question. Is there a promo code yet? I'm ready to buy, and I know as soon as I do, they'll drop a 20% off code. No, there's no promo code for this one. So they usually do have promo codes when they drop new devices, but they didn't for this one. If they did, I would have posted it with my video. I haven't been told that they're going to. Aqara devices have also been, like these really popular ones, have also been selling out pretty quickly. So maybe that's why they're not. I think there was another device that they launched that didn't have a promo code. So I don't have there's no indication to me that they're going to have a promo code for the W200. So I know it's like as soon as I buy it, they're going to drop a discount. I mean, you could wait for Amazon Prime Day and see I don't know if they'll have that one on sale. They might. Aqara usually has just about all of their products on sale during Prime Day. And I think Prime Day might be a little earlier this year. So might be something to look out for. But they don't always put their new products for sale. So it just depends. But they do often. Like I think they just had the U400 was actually on sale, that new smart lock. So So it might be, if you want to save a little bit of money, you could just wait till Prime Day, which, I mean, that'll be here before you know it. If you're okay waiting, might go on sale. Oh, nice. Sigmund Judge says, I personally recommend using Aqara cameras and then bring them into Unify Protect via OnVIF or RTSP. They work out great with the AI port if you want to prioritize Apple Home. Yeah, may just depend on your priority there. Obviously, Aqara cameras are going to work better with HomeKit Secure Video, although you can do HomeKit Secure Video through scripted, which is what I was doing for a long time. I don't think you can do that through Home Assistant, where it's recording to iCloud, but you can do it through scripted, and that worked pretty well for me. I don't have an AI port for my Unify setup though, so I might need to look into that and see. I do have a few of the Aqara cameras though. I'm using, I think I have 2 G5 Pros outside now, so I'm using a couple of those also, and I do have those tied into Unify, but I don't have the AI port, so I might need to look into getting one of those and just play around with it a little bit. Sigmund says, I saw a post earlier this week from Nikias Molina, something that attaches to the electric board that converts anything on the board to Apple Home. I saw you like the post. Any info? No, I don't have any information on that one. Yeah, I liked his post just because I like Nikias and the stuff that he puts out, but I don't know much about that one. I've seen a few of those devices that they like connect to the electrical panel. But I haven't used, I think that's what that one was, but I haven't used any of those myself, so I can't really speak on it personally on, regarding how I feel about it. And then Frederick says, question, did you get a chance to watch Paul Hibbert's latest video where he had cameos of the Wife Approved podcast? Yeah, I did. I watched that, and that was funny. Yeah, Paul is a good guy, funny guy for sure, and he had a little clip from our podcast. Actually, I think he had a clip from our live stream too. We had Paul on the live stream here about a month ago. I think he had a clip of that in his latest video also, but he clipped the podcast because his wife was talking about some of the same stuff that my wife is talking about. So I sent it to my wife and told her to watch it, and she's like, yeah, I could hear her audibly agreeing with some of the stuff his wife was saying. So I guess, the wife approval factor is something that we all, or spouse approval factor, may be something we all have to deal with and work with. But yeah, that was a funny video. Very relatable for sure. Are you changing to the Aqara thermostat? Do they have sensors? Need to finish watching? Yeah, watch the video. I mean, I guess is all I can say there. They do have sensors. There are some caveats to it, but I explain all that in the video in detail. I have switched to it. I'm enjoying it right now. I don't really have any intention on switching back to Ecobee. A lot of my video was kind of comparing the new Aqara thermostat to Ecobee because I've been using Ecobee for so long. But I really like some of the things I can do with the Aqara thermostat, so I'll probably keep it. That's my intention right now. Like I said, I don't have any intentions of going back to Ecobee, especially once, like one of the things that I mentioned in there, because I know it's a factor for a lot of people, is the multiple sensors, the room sensors. You can use a single sensor as a data source. And again, I go into detail with all this in the video, so you can watch that if you want. But I also said that you can only use one single sensor in as the data source, whereas something like Ecobee has the ability to use multiple data sources, so multiple room sensors, and it basically takes the average of all those and can, will adjust your thermostat based on the average of multiple sensors. The Aqara one, as of right now, cannot do that. You can only use one sensor as the data source, but I did hear from Aqara, and they reached out and said, like, look, we see that a lot of people are asking for this feature, and I mentioned it in the video also, and they said, like, rest assured, they are going to be updating the thermostat very soon. So one of the upcoming firmware updates will give you the ability to use multiple sensors. So that's really nice, and that's just, one of the great things about Aqara is that they tend to really listen to feedback from, creators and from the community. So, always, tell them what you want, because the good companies like Aqara will listen and they will make those changes. So that's something that is coming. I actually meant to mention that earlier and I forgot. So good that you brought that up. And there's Caroline. Yes, she was spot on. So talking about, I assume talking about Paul's wife in the recent video where he had his wife on there. Turn says, when Aqara does the averaging, I will definitely be swapping out my Ecobee. Nice. Yeah, I really have been loving that. Like I said, the automations that play the custom ringtones, that's been one of my favorite things about it, which is kind of a silly little side note, but it's been cool. And adaptive temperature too. Like I never really used temperature automations with my Ecobee. I just have always, it's just, I don't know. I've had issues with that. And so I was really hesitant and a little nervous, honestly, on using adaptive temperature, but I really wanted to try it out. And I'll say it's done really well. One person made a comment, I think it was in the video or somewhere, talking about the heat of the summer. And so it will be interesting to see how it does in the summertime when it gets really hot here, if that will be an issue. I'm going to keep using adaptive temperature and just, see. So far it's been great. This is kind of a time of year actually where I have issues with my thermostat because it's really hot one day and then it gets cold and it's like back and forth really drastically for a little while until it gets just straight hot, which will be pretty soon. So it'll be interesting to see how adaptive temperature works in just the brutal heat of the summer here and if I'll be able to keep using it. Jeff said the same thing. As soon as Aqara updates the firmware, I'll replace my Ecobee with their thermostat. Yeah, cool. So yeah, a lot of people like that feature, I think, and that's why I did want to mention it in the video. So I'll try to, keep everybody posted here, maybe on Instagram too, if I hear that firmware is released. I think they said it'll be their next firmware update, so it should be coming pretty soon, but I'll try to keep everybody posted about that. Carlos says, I love Ecobee, got sensors in every room and keep even temperatures all over the 3-bedroom house here in Dallas, Texas. Nice. Yeah, that's why I've always stuck with Ecobee too. I mean, it's been a good thermostat. There's no question about it. And the room sensors are a game changer, and that's why I've used it. Room sensors make a huge difference for me in my house, for sure. If you have like high ceilings, and also largely depending on where your thermostat is located, like for my house, that's a big deal. Those room sensors make a huge difference. No, you cannot get real link cameras into HomeKit natively. You can do it if you're using something like Home Assistant or scripted, just like we were talking about with Unify. So it is possible, but not natively. They don't support Apple Home natively. For adaptive, Mike asks, for Apple adaptive temperature, is this for any smart thermostat, or are we mostly talking about Aqara? Yeah, so this is an Apple Home feature, and it's only available right now through the Aqara thermostat W200, their new thermostat. It's the only one that supports this feature so far. Now, other thermostats like Ecobee, Nest, probably, there's other smart thermostats that have similar features where it will like adjust the thermostat based on location and things like that. But the Apple adaptive temperature is a little bit different because it actually can use stuff like your calendar events and different things like that to predict when you'll be home and away. So it's kind of like using your Apple ecosystem where other thermostats can't do that. It's just pretty much using location and stuff like that for other thermostats. So yeah, right now the Aqara thermostat is the only one that supports Apple adaptive temperature. Just like they have the only smart lock still, I think, that supports Apple's ultra wideband hands-free unlocking. So Aqara is really killing it with the Apple Home support here lately. All right, let's see. A lot of thermostat questions here. I think we had some more over here. Dominic Rios, I think I said that right, says, I plan on starting my smart home in a couple of months. Is it worth it to go Apple Home if the new Apple TV, HomePod, etc. aren't out yet? Yeah, I would say, and you might be right on the brink there of something new coming, because I think it's probably going to be fall. I don't know, probably we might get lucky, but it'll probably be fall before we're seeing the new Apple TV and stuff like that. But I would say, yeah, if you know you want to go the Apple Home route eventually, and you don't mind, I would probably, like, what I've done in the past is like I got Apple TVs, HomePods and stuff like that. And if a new one comes out or I upgrade, I'll just move that to another TV or something like that. So I essentially have Apple TVs, for example, on every one of my TVs now at this point, because I'll get a new one and then I'll move that one to another room. So you could start, if you just want to, kind of get started, and you could get one Apple TV or maybe just one HomePod, even a HomePod mini, and act as your Apple Home hub, and just to kind of get the ball rolling and get started, adding devices and things like that. And then when if they do come out with a new device, again, as long as your budget allows for this, then you could, get that, and then you'll still be able to use like the HomePods and the old Apple TVs is my point. You should still be able to use all those. But you could just use it in a different room or something like that, as long as that's probably what I would do. Again, as long as budget allows. Now, if you just want to buy one device, and you mentioned in a couple of months, it might be worth waiting, as long as you have the patience to wait a little bit. If you just want to buy like one Apple TV and that's all you want to do, because there probably is going to be some new stuff coming out this year. Hope that kind of helped a little bit there. I think I got like salt air in my mouse from being at the beach. My button is not working as well as it used to be. Man, Torin, can we get like one live stream without this? I swear, I can't even make a video anymore without this comment. I'm just kidding with you, of course. But dude, it's like you can't even say Apple Home without, Home Assistant all the time. I get that comment all the time. Sorry, I don't mean to take it out on you. But dang, man, like some people just don't want to use Home Assistant. It's amazing. It's great. But sometimes some people don't want to use Home Assistant, and I totally get it. I do use it, but I don't use it for everything, man. I value my free time a little bit too much to just be all in on Home Assistant. It is a time suck for sure, and a lot of people don't want to mess with all that. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. A lot of us nerds, you know, it's for us for sure, but a lot of people not so much. So, but yeah, man, I get that comment all the time. Let's see here. I think we got a couple more questions we got time for. Let me see what we got. Mike says, do you use rechargeable batteries for your sensors? Some of those batteries have unusual sizes. You know, I actually just started using rechargeable batteries recently. I never have in the past, but I always kind of thought about it. I've gotten to the point, especially with testing so many devices, that I was just throwing away and buying new batteries a lot. And actually started Olight, the company Olight, they make this really cool, I wonder if I can pull that up. Yeah, here we go. This thing right here, man, is so cool. I got one of these recently. They reached out to me and I was like, I've been kind of thinking about rechargeable batteries anyway, so I haven't been using this very long, but this thing is so cool, and you just drop your batteries in it, and it just keeps batteries like ready to go for me. So I really have been liking this. Again, I haven't used it a very long time, but this is super cool. It's just AA and AAA, of course. So like all those weird coin size batteries and stuff, you know, you're kind of on your own with that. You're going to have to replace those. But I have been switching to a few sensors here and there, like door sensors that use AA or AAA. I think the Third Reality, some of their stuff, their little sensors use like more normal size batteries, which I like. So yeah, I just try to keep batteries on hand all the time in case I need to change them. I actually talk about batteries in an upcoming video here pretty soon, and changing out batteries all the time. But that Olight station has been pretty nice. Again, I'm pretty new to rechargeable batteries, but so far I've really been liking that. Let me see what you guys are saying. I use the IKEA rechargeable batteries and charger. Yeah, I know a lot of people use them for the level lock bolts. Yeah, that was like one of my main things, is like the smart locks, and even like the doorbell cameras. I was using some just wireless, mainly for testing. And man, they take so many batteries. But some of my smart locks, I think I have one smart lock that takes, I think it takes 8 AA batteries, I want to say. I mean, it's just a ton of batteries. Let's see. Yeah, rechargeable 2032s. I don't know if that's a thing. Oh, cool. Reed has a good video on that recharger. Nice. Yeah, I've seen it in different places. I actually saw it at CES, so I was familiar with it. And yeah, it was just good timing. So I'm happy to have one. And I think it's a really good solution for somebody like me, for sure. Probably a lot of you always having to change batteries and stuff on sensors and things like that. Oh, cool. The Adrian MC says they do have rechargeable cell batteries. I use them for my door and window sensors. Nice. Huh. I might have to look into those too. Good thing about the Aqara sensors, and a lot of those that take the little coin cell batteries, well, not a lot of them, but Aqara ones specifically, those batteries last forever. I mean, I was actually went to my grandpa's house Just like last week, I stopped by. I don't know if some of you guys might remember, I made a video where I made some of his devices smart at his house. That had to be like at least 2, probably 3 years ago. And he had like and everything was still working. Like that says a lot about Aqara stuff. It's like very little, almost no maintenance at all on my end. Like I have not been there messing with it. But he's been using a couple of the little Aqara buttons for some of his devices and stuff like that. And all this time they've been working well, but one of them stopped working. And I was like, it's probably just the battery. And sure enough, went over there, the battery was dead, replaced the battery, and it's been working fine. But that lasted like 3 years, I think, on that little button. So I haven't really been too worried about the the little coin cell batteries, because most of those sensors last a long time. But now that I have so many, it would not hurt to have some that are rechargeable. So I might look into that. Let's see, let's do 1 or 2 more questions. Question, my Apple Home crashed when I did iOS 26.4 update. All my hubs went offline, and now Apple Home says loading scenes and accessories. Any thoughts or ideas? I have seen that before, but it usually comes back up after it loads. If it's not, I would probably just restart all your devices. Restart your iPhone, first of all. Check on other Apple devices if you have like an iPad, a Mac, and stuff like that. But just restart your iPhone, restart your Apple Home hubs if you haven't already, especially after an update. It's not a bad idea just to do a restart. And then hopefully that'll kick everything back in. That usually does the trick in most cases. Nice. Old vocal link sensors made me discover it. Aqara has been solid. Yeah. That's why I love their little Zigbee sensors, man. They just last forever. They really do. Oh, nice. Cali Girl, thanks. Says, I remember when you did your grandpa's house. Yeah, that was a fun little project. And man, it feels like time just flies by. It feels like yesterday, but at the same time, it feels like it was so long ago. But yeah, I think it was like 3 years ago, and crazy that he's, it's been working for him, and he loves that little button I put right by his recliner, and that was the one where the battery died. But actually, the ones in his room, he said he uses all the time too, and yeah, so it's cool that that's worked out so well for him over these years. Oh, nice. Water sensors. Okay, nice. Good tip. Joseph says mine did the same thing regarding that issue after the update. Did a complete restart of my HomePods and all my devices. Ricardo says, are you going to review the Enero H1 robot from Switchbot? I mean, why not? If they want to send me one, sure, I'll do it. I don't know if they're going to send one or when those things are going to start shipping. For those who don't know, this is like the humanoid robot thing that Switchbot showed at CES this year. It's in my CES video if you want to check that out. But yeah, I would review it. I mean, I would check it out. It would be fun. I actually got, I'm starting to see, I think we actually got an email recently about some other humanoid robot. So these are crazy times. It looks like not too far in the future, we will be like testing and playing with humanoid robots in our house. And I'm still not 100% sure how I feel about that. But hey, for the YouTube channel, I'll do it. I can't guarantee the thing is going to live in my house all the time, indefinitely, but I think I could put up with a humanoid robot long enough to just to get some thoughts and share it on YouTube. That would be fun. I don't know. It might be a game changer. It might start folding all my laundry, and you know, then I will wonder how I ever lived without it. I'd be surprised though. That thing at CES was moving slow. So we might not be quite there yet, but I don't know. Who knows? It'll be fun. It should be a fun next few years. That much I know. So we'll see. In the meantime, thank you guys so much for hanging out and joining me today. It's great to be back after a week off doing these live streams. If you are a channel member and I wasn't able to get to your question or comment today, you can always tag me or DM me in our member Discord server. So channel members, don't forget you can go over there anytime and you can ask questions to me or to the whole group. That's a great place to be. And if you want to join, it's about $5 a month. And you can get access to that Discord server. And then we'll do some behind the scenes videos and things like that every now and then. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you all have a great rest of your day and a great week. God bless.